Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos
Good
días.
morning.
Buenos días.
How do you say good morning in French? Yes.
In French, Rudy?
Yeah.
In French, bonjour.
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 Buongiorno. ¿Qué más?
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Yes.
Yes.
Estamos próximos a iniciar. Estamos esperando que las personas ingresen. Están en sala. 2 minutos más, por favor. 2 more minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Porque como nunca me ven enganchado con nadie, solito.
No,
Me dicen, es que tiene que estar solo por algo. ¿Por qué? Tiene que estar dentro de algo así, no sé.
Les pedimos a todos, por favor, poner sus micrófonos en silencio. Agradecemos a todos su espera. Estamos esperando el inicio de la sesión, dando espera a que ingresen los que están en sala de espera. 1 minuto más, por favor.
Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días a todos. Estamos por iniciar. Un segundo, por favor. Estoy esperando 1 minuto. Okay. We're ready. Muy bien. Buenos días a todos. Espero que se encuentren bien, todos en sus casas y pues los que estamos en oficina bien separados de los compañeros para poder seguir cuidándonos. Vamos a darle inicio a este evento que precisamente hemos organizado conjuntamente AmCham Barranquilla y Lean Staffing. Y la conferencia de hoy, el evento se llama Burnout and Conflicts at the Workplace. Estamos invitando en esta oportunidad a los líderes y gerentes de negocios para poder participar y aprender de nuevas técnicas de liderazgo para implementar en el lugar de trabajo. En esta época de pandemia que ha sido tan compleja y que después de que estuvimos bastante aliviados volvimos a encerrarnos, pues muy importante conocer estos dos temas que hoy nos presenta precisamente Lean Staffing. El primero, agotamiento en el lugar de trabajo, cómo los gerentes pueden mantener a su equipo motivado, comprometido y productivo. Y segundo, cómo utilizar la inteligencia emocional para prevenir y resolver conflictos en el lugar de trabajo. Quería, antes que continuar, agradecemos a todos cerrar sus micrófonos, por favor. Al momento tenemos varias personas ya registradas, inscritas, ya tenemos algunas personas aún en sala de espera que se les va a ir dando ingreso en la medida que se vaya pudiendo. Quiero presentarles a Lean Staffing, quien es nuestra empresa invitada del día de hoy, afiliado a la AmCham. Es un grupo empresarial que se encarga del apoyo logístico a empresas de transporte principalmente terrestre en Estados Unidos, ofreciendo outsourcing de ventas, tracking, servicio al cliente, billing, entre otras, según la necesidad del cliente, brindando así un servicio integral y óptimo con un personal altamente capacitado. Hoy nos acompaña Carlos Sánchez, quien ya lleva varios años de trayectoria dentro del grupo y que actualmente se desempeña como National Director of Special Projects. Carlos, en el día de hoy, nos hablará de algunos proyectos y desafíos que tiene Lean Solutions Group para este año 2021. Entonces, no siendo más, quisiera pues darle la bienvenida a Carlos, así como también a Rodolfo Bengochea de Links, aliado de Lean. Bienvenidos. Carlos.
Gracias, Vicky. ¿Se me escucha bien?
Se te escucha perfecto.
Muchas gracias. Bueno, primero agradecerte a ti y a AmCham por, obviamente, la oportunidad que abren siempre a estos espacios y agradecido por también el servicio y las muchas oportunidades que hemos podido manejar a través de ustedes. Como Vicky lo comentaba, pues yo soy el director de proyectos a nivel nacional del grupo Lean. Nosotros durante los últimos casi 10 años hemos venido trabajando 100% con clientes norteamericanos, lo que por ende nos ha llevado a contratar personal que maneje excelente nivel de inglés. En nuestros esfuerzos para poder mantener una operación de calidad, hemos tenido que implementar muchas iniciativas enfocadas al bilingüismo dentro de la empresa, hablando a nivel interno. Y dentro de muchas de estas iniciativas surgió la necesidad de tener un aliado que nos permitiera dar soporte a toda la parte de bilingüismo a nivel empresarial. Este aliado nos acompaña en el día de hoy. Es un centro de idiomas con sede principal en Bogotá, Links Language Solutions, y ya desde hace más de 2 años hemos venido trabajando muy de la mano con ellos. Para nosotros siempre ha sido y siempre será una necesidad principal el mantener a nuestros propios colaboradores al nivel de entablar conversaciones fluidas con clientes y personas en los Estados Unidos. Y por eso ha sido sumamente vital el proceso con Links Language Solutions. Entonces, a raíz de esta necesidad y de esta alianza estratégica que hemos formado con Links, se ha formalizado un proyecto en el que ha habido obviamente una inversión, ha habido una estrategia comercial también y toda una planeación para poder ahora no solo llegar a nuestro propio personal, sino también apoyar el bilingüismo en mayor escala en las ciudades de Colombia, en el país a nivel nacional y por supuesto en otras empresas de cualquier sector, ¿cierto? Entonces, con ese propósito, nosotros formalizamos esta relación con Links. Y para nosotros es de orgullo y de mucha gratitud poder contar con el apoyo de Rodolfo en esta mañana. Rodolfo es el CEO de Links Language Solutions. Estos talleres que vamos a tener en esta mañana ya se han implementado a nivel interno en nuestra organización y han tenido un éxito espectacular, y muchos otros workshops que ellos manejan con nosotros y otras iniciativas. Entonces, para nosotros es gratificante poder acceder a estos espacios, que ustedes sepan lo que estamos haciendo, que también despertemos nuestras habilidades idiomáticas y podamos apoyar no solo a Barranquilla, sino al país en esta iniciativa bilingüe. Entonces, para no extenderme más, les agradezco primero por participar de estos talleres y le doy el paso a Rodolfo Bengoechea, quien estará mayormente con nosotros en esta reunión en los talleres. Entonces, Vicky, nuevamente gracias a AmCham y a todo el apoyo de tu equipo, y quedamos en manos de Links.
Con todo gusto.
Oh, buenos días a todos. Es un placer para nosotros estar aquí. Muchas gracias. Mi nombre es Rudy Bengoechea, líder del proyecto de Links Language Solutions a nivel nacional y a nivel de la TAM. Gracias, Carlos, por esa introducción. Gracias a AmCham, Vicky, Alejandra, por tenernos acá en este día. Para nosotros es un placer. Links Language Solutions siempre se ha caracterizado como una empresa que provee valor a las compañías, entendiendo su necesidad. Nosotros como empresa hemos diseñado English for a Specific Purpose para poder ayudar a las personas a mejorar sus oportunidades laborales, a las compañías poder ser más competitivas. Hoy en día es muy importante para empresas como Lean Staffing, Lean Tech, tener personal bilingüe para poder hacer negocios, cerrar negocios en otros países de habla inglés. Eso es lo que hacemos nosotros, ¿no? Estamos ayudando a los compatriotas, a las empresas colombianas a ser más competitivas. Aparte de eso, hemos también desarrollado varios currículums, varios syllabus específicos. Uno es, por ejemplo, English for Developers, que hemos implementado en países como Perú, Bolivia, Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, Costa Rica y especialmente en Colombia, donde hemos podido ayudar a estos developers a mejorar sus oportunidades laborales. También hemos ayudado a las empresas colombianas a ser competitivas contra las empresas multinacionales. Trabajamos en este momento con las mejores empresas de IT en el sector. Y también tenemos otro proyecto que es English for the Financial Purposes, inglés de finanzas. Y obviamente también manejamos el inglés social, ¿no? Tenemos también con nosotros a Lauren Pelkey, que es una experta en todo lo que es creación de artículos, blogger, es escritora, ha escrito libros. Entonces, en el día de hoy vamos a traer 2 talleres que ha sido muy interesante. Nosotros como Centro de Idioma no solamente capacitamos a las personas a mejorar su nivel de inglés, pero también, como tenemos certificaciones internacionales con habilidades blandas, hemos implementado esas habilidades blandas en nuestras empresas y también en muchas de las empresas. Y uno de los talleres que ha tenido mucho éxito ha sido inteligencia emocional. Como ustedes saben, la inteligencia emocional nos ayuda en todos los aspectos, en los negocios, en la vida personal, relaciones interpersonales, familiares. Y el tema que tenemos a tocar en el día de hoy, que lo voy a dictar yo, es el burnout, el agotamiento. Hemos visto en el último año que las personas están trabajando más que cuando estaban trabajando antes de la pandemia. So, these workshops van a ser dictadas en inglés. Entonces, les dejo el micrófono a AmCham para que haga esa separación. Vamos a entrar como unos 5 minutos. para separar los breakout rooms y vamos a estar interactuando con ustedes. La idea es que estos talleres sean muy interactivos. Necesito la participación de todos ustedes. Yo cuando dicto estas charlas, cuando las dicta Lauren, preferimos que ustedes hablen más que nosotros. Entonces, esa es la idea, ¿no? Entonces, no sé si Mari ya está creando los...
Sí.
María Alejandra.
Sí. De hecho, pues la metodología va a ser la siguiente. Las personas que se inscribieron a Burnout se van a quedar en esta sala, no tienen que hacer absolutamente nada. Y en pantalla les va a estar apareciendo para el segundo grupo de inteligencia emocional la opción de unirse. Entonces, Burnout no tiene que hacer absolutamente nada. Y las personas de inteligencia emocional, por favor, unirse en el link que les aparece en pantalla.
María Alejandra, buenos días. Perdón, a mí no me aparece ningún link.
A mí sí me aparece, no sé.
Carolina, abajo en la barra donde aparece para compartir la pantalla, sigue a la derecha, dice Record, y sigue la otra y dice Breakdown Rooms.
Ajá, Breakout Rooms, sí.
Dale, ponlo. Ponlo, Mari.
Ah, donde dice inteligencia emocional. Listo, mil gracias.
Ok.
¿Me puedes explicar a mí nuevamente, porfis?
Sí, en la pantalla te aparece un cuadrito donde dice
ya vi breakout room. Okay.
Exacto. Entonces, donde dice inteligencia emocional, a la derecha está la opción que dice Join. Ahí debes dar clic para poderte unir a este tema. Si quieres el tema, o sea, si quieres escuchar la conferencia de Burnout, no tienes que hacer nada.
Ok, perfecto.
Hola, a mí no me aparece la opción de Breakout Rooms.
Estaba
¿No te aparece?
No.
O sea, en pantalla no estás viendo absolutamente nada, solamente como... o sea, nos estás viendo a nosotros.
Me acaba de llegar. Okay, gracias.
Perdón, a mí no me aparece la opción de breakout rooms.
De pronto tampoco... Es que tampoco
ya me dejó, gracias,
Bueno. ¿Listo? ¿Hay alguna otra persona que quiera pasarse a inteligencia emocional? O para dar comienzo.
Sí, me gustaría pasarme a inteligencia emocional.
Vale, entonces en el cuadrito que usted puede ver en pantalla, debe bajar hasta donde le va a aparecer la opción de inteligencia emocional y poner a la derecha la opción Join.
Ok, gracias.
Perfecto. Listo. Entonces, listo, creo que ya, no sé si esperamos un minutico más por si alguien quiere pasarse. Vale, Rudy, creo que estamos listos.
Okay, like I said, this is going to be in English. So I would like some of you to introduce themselves, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you guys do? For example, Vicky, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Perdón, ¿me puedes repetir?
Vicky, I would like for you to introduce yourself. Can you introduce yourself? Tell me what you do. A little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Vicky Ibanez. Wait.
Okay.
I better turn on my camera.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay.
Yep. Okay. I'm Vicky Ibanez, Executive Director for the American Chamber of Commerce over here in Barranquilla. And I have been working for the AmCham for the last 22 years. So it's been quite a challenge for me
Wow,
to
22 years.
keep up, 22 years, yeah, to keep up with this project initiative. Now it's a real organization, and it has been fantastic, the experience that we have had, how we started in a small wood cabin in a parking lot, and now we are one of the a very prestigious association.
Oh, great, great. Thank you for that presentation.
Okay.
Diana Rojas, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hey, how are you? I'm Diana Rojas. I am a psychologist. I work at a British International School as primary psychologist.
Okay, great. Nice having you here. Perfect. So you probably know a little bit about burnout.
About burnout?
Yes.
Okay, I think that we are in times in which all of us need to become more relaxed and it's important issue in our not just in our jobs. I think that we need to improve our strategies to give some help to the people with work. I mean, families, teachers, all the staff in the school, and of course, children.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that input. How about Mr. Jose Vicente Salazar, please?
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing?
Great, man.
I am Jose. Everybody call me Joe. And I am design coordinator at a fintech company right now here in Barranquilla, Colombia. And of course, this requires a lot of attention to detail, and these are very stressful times. So this is a very important topic to deal with. And as coordinator of some teams, it is very important to understand how to react to certain situations and everything that happens in the daily basis, right? So this is a very important topic, and I am looking forward to learn some tips that will be very useful for our work lives. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jose. I'm very familiar. We work 80% of the companies that we work with actually are IT companies, software developers. So we know the frustration, we know the situation. So yes, it's a very important topic. Okay, Beatriz Alicia Osorio.
Good morning, everyone. My name, as you said, is Beatriz Alicia Osorio, but I have a nickname. Everyone calls me Isha. Yes, I work at Marymount School, Barranquilla. It's been more than 15 years working, and for the past 2 years or past year, I have a new job, and it's in the foundation that supports the school. So this requires, I've been leading a lot of groups as leader, and I would like to learn, of course, an update for new techniques of how to handle this situation and at this moment when we are dealing with virtuality and not having the person right next to you, how to manage and how to even look for appointments and things when you are not in person to person. So looking forward to learn a lot at this meeting today.
Okay, so as a teacher, I'm going to give you guys a free tip. Okay. When we say I'm looking forward, we must say the verb in ing. So I'm looking forward to working. I'm looking forward to listening. I'm looking forward to getting together. So that's a free tip. Okay, free tip. Okay. All right, we have one more last person. I mean, obviously I want to be able to talk to all of you, but I don't want to extend myself. So I would like Maria Cristina Jaramillo to introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Maria Cristina Jaramillo. I'm a lawyer and I work in Uribe now, lawyers in Medellin. I want to listen this webinar because it's very important currently to learn to manage the burnout, especially in work in-house.
Okay, very good. Yeah, definitely. Working from home. The people that I have talked to recently in the last 12 months, they tell me that they have more challenges than they had when they were working from the office, you know? So if you have children, you got to cook, you got to take care of your children. So you got, you know, several tasks that you have to deal with simultaneously. So we're becoming experts in multitasking, no? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And please let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So basically, burnout. What can we do to avoid it? You know? So I would like to ask Veronica Duarte, for example. Veronica, what do you think? How do we define burnout, Veronica, for example?
Yes, burnout is when you feel very bad, you feel depressed, you feel you can handle all the situation that you have to handle because of your job, and that's it. I think that you are feeling very bad. You feel you can't do it anymore.
Okay, very good. Okay, Sandra Munoz, what do you think causes burnout? Sandra? Or let's ask, okay, go ahead. Sandra, you there? What do you think causes burnout?
Sandra is muted. Tiene el micrófono apagado, debería encenderlo.
Okay. I think she's having problems. Beatriz Alicia Osorio. Isha, what do you think causes burnout?
Well, I would say for me, burnout also means to be loaded with responsibilities. When you feel at this moment you have to manage so many strands, let's say, as you said before, the family, the kids, the work, and in the same place, not even having the transportation time kind of to cut the line between one activity and the other. So I will say that at this moment, it is caused by the situation that I just expressed, where we are living in the same place without moving around and being with all these responsibilities.
Okay, thank you for your input. Okay, so I would like Paola Fuentes. Are you there, Paola? Okay. How about Nover Vizcaño? Can you please tell me what can happen to slow down or stop your productivity? What can happen?
Well, hello everyone. It's Vizcaíno. It's a weird last name. Don't worry. Well, probably the slow down and stop your productivity. It's depend of how do you feel in the situation, or how do you feel in the production activity. So probably we can have no sleep well, maybe have maybe the same routine, probably have to be a little slow down in that day.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, yeah, so I mean, this is something that usually when we teach these workshops is not based on something that we saw on the internet. It's something that we are living and we are facing right now with our team. We are working this subject with several companies. Obviously, I'm going to try to complete it today. A lot of times, you know, you feel guilty because you haven't been productive enough during the day, right? And then, you know, if you don't produce during the week, then you work on Saturday and Sunday. And as you guys know, it's very important to find a work-life balance, and what to do to relax. And that's something that, we're faced constantly, at work. We have different challenges. We have a schedule, we have a calendar, but then all of a sudden something else comes up, and then something else comes up. And then, we're working from home. And so basically we want to be able to define this in a well-structured way, get the meaning right, and then what are we going to do to avoid the negative effects of burnout, which can spill over into our lives at home, work, and social life. So basically the meaning of burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. So we have to emphasize that, excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. Now, you guys are talking to a person that lost everything he had. I went financially bankrupt because of burnout. I got to a point where I didn't care about anything, I was exhausted, I was physically drained, and that caused me to have a financial breakdown in my life. So I can talk from experience. Okay, so basically, when we're talking about this, it can have some negative effects like it did with me. It can have negative effects in your personal life. And I guess that the best way to avoid it, when we talk about workload, right? When you have a workload that matches your capacity, you can effectively get your work done, right? But then you need opportunities for rest and recovery. And, and obviously you have to balance that rest and recovery with your professional growth and your professional development, right? But when you have this overload, right, then these opportunities to restore balance don't exist, So we have to address the issue of workload first, right? What are we doing in these key areas? So all of you will have the opportunity to get this PDF with some additional notes once we finish this workshop. But I think that we have to, there are some key areas that we need to look into when we talk about burnout, okay? And one of them is, how do we plan our week, right? And then a lot of times, I don't know if it has happened to you, you don't get the work done. So you say, you know what? No big deal. I'll do this on Saturday. I'll do this on Saturday afternoon. I'll do this on Sunday, right? So what we do is, I'll get that done on the weekend. Then, that becomes like a one-size-fits-all solution. And I don't know how many of you have actually done work on the weekend. Can somebody tell me if you guys have not done enough work during the week, or maybe you have too much work, and now you're working on Saturday and you're working on Sunday? How many of you have had this happen to you? Vicky, tell me about that experience.
Rudy.
Yes.
Tell me. Que no te escucho.
Can you hear me?
Ahora sí.
Okay. Have you taken some of the work that you couldn't do during the week and done it on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday?
Yes, I have, especially preparing board directors meetings.
Okay, has that affected your relationship with your family or your friends?
Well, actually, on these times, no, because I keep more busy. There's a lot of time. We're not going out anywhere. We're just taking care of ourselves at home. So it's okay. It's just, I get a little tired, of course, but I wish to have all the information on time so I could do it in work days. But if I don't get the information that I need and I just get it on a Friday night, I have to work necessarily a Saturday morning or get a schedule the other work to do it when I get more concentration, especially in the evenings.
Okay, so we have early birds that work in the morning.
Yes.
And we have night owls,
Yes.
owls. I'm a night owl person, okay? I work effectively at night.
Yes.
Okay?
Mhm.
I'm an early bird, but when it comes to concentrating and developing something, for me, it's better at night.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah. I would like to hear from Merly Solorzano. Is that correct? Merly, are you there?
Solorzano.
Yes, is that correct?
Okay. Have you done some of the work that you couldn't do during the week on the weekend?
Well, usually yes, but we made that for a familiar activity because we have this commitment with a foundation for tell stories, and so we have to record every weekend. That because on the weekend you used to do that because we have a very short time. So yes, I have to do that in Saturdays or Sundays.
Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, if we have limited time, is I'm going to try to give all of us the tools to try to prevent a burnout. Okay, to try to be more effective when we're planning our week, to decide what activities we are going to prioritize, what's important, what's not so important, what can wait for tomorrow. Because sometimes, we want to do everything at once. We don't know how to delegate correctly. So that's going to be my job today. Okay, I'm going to try, and obviously, if you guys have ideas that surpass the ones that we have, I'm open to that. Okay, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the quadrants that we work with other companies. They gave me the permission to use it in this conference. So one of the key factors in my own personal experience, ways to avoid it, because I remember I lost everything I had because of burnout. So in my workplace as a coach, I've discovered the benefits of taking time off. Okay, recently, 2 weeks ago, I completely delegated everything. I had a business meeting in Cartagena. I went to Cartagena on Friday, and I disconnected myself Friday afternoon. I mean, I'm talking about in a high peak season for us, where normally I would be working on the weekends. I disconnected myself Saturday, Sunday, and half of Monday. So we need to invest our time like money. A lot of times, Americans say time is money, right? So we need to invest our time like money. How do we invest our money? I mean, if you're very responsible, you're going to invest your money, in a way that is going to produce more money, and you're going to be a good steward of the resources that you have. So we as human beings, we're not machines. You have a car, you have a diesel engine, or you have, when you go to companies, you can have an engine on all day, right? We are not like that. We're living organisms. We need rest. We need to rest and we need to recover. Because if not, we have psychologists here. We know that when you have overstress, it can produce disease. You can have a heart attack. You can actually lose your life because of stress. So what we want to do is we want to have a sustainable lifestyle. We want to be productive throughout the week, but still have 2 days, the weekend, right? Week in, you finished your work. And so we want to make sure that we have time for ourselves on the weekends, okay? So I'm going to try to be brief, but I think that, one of the ways to avoid it is being present, right? Sometimes we have vague ideas what we're going to do during the week, but we haven't clearly defined, right, that we're going to set aside Saturday and Sunday. I have a wife. I have 2 kids in Colombia, 2 kids in the US. They're grown, they're educated. So I spend quality time with my wife, and quality time with my daughter, and quality time with my son. And I have to be present, because I don't know if you guys have experienced that. You're at home, but you're not really there, right? You're working with your family, you're watching a movie, but your mind is somewhere else. You have that nagging guilt that you should be finishing a task, right? So you cannot, you're there with your family, but you're not there. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one that has happened to. Many of us live that experience, right? So it's very important, that connection, you know? I think that everyone, you know, has a busy season where they have to work a lot, right? Sometimes. I don't know if you guys know the difference, and I would like to get your feedback on some of you. What's the difference between a hard worker and a workaholic? Can somebody give me that definition? Mr. Vizcaino, can you tell me the difference between a workaholic and a hard worker?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, the first word, to be honest, I don't know exactly the meaning, but the working harder is the people that try demonstrate to find the results, the more important thing. I think so. But the other one, to be honest, I don't know what exactly the meaning.
Okay, so we have workaholic. It's like an alcoholic, right? An alcoholic person, he's always drinking, you know, he cannot control. So what do you think workaholic means? Workaholic.
It's something like, sounds like the person that is all the time thinking job, in his job all the day, in all the different situations. I think so.
Okay, Diana Rojas is a psychologist. Maybe Diana can give us a definition about what is a workaholic.
Okay, I think that workaholic is a person who needs all the time being working, and if not, that person could feel that they're spending the time and things that are not value to him, to his life.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but we have different addictions. Some people are addicted to alcohol, some people are addicted to cigarettes, some people are addicted to drugs, some people are addicted to shopping, some people are addicted to work. I mean, I would say I'm a recovered workaholic. So a lot of times, and I'm pretty sure that the psychologists that are here are going to agree with me on this, we hate to be alone. We hate to face ourselves. We hate quiet moments, so we always have to be busy. Just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're productive, okay? So in my case, I was associating work with hard worker, but I didn't realize that I was addicted to work, and I was neglecting my family. I was neglecting my friends. So I think it's very important to be consistent, right? To be open. I mean, to intentionally connect with friends, families, and increase those opportunities to have sustainable relationships and to have meaningful relationships. So, do we have another psychologist besides Diana Rojas?
No.
No?
Yes, Judy Perea. I'm a psychologist.
Okay. Would you agree with me that some people have addictions? And they think, yes.
Workaholic is to be addicted to work. That's the simple definition. It's just having this constant impulse to be working. So you're addicted to work.
Okay, is that healthy?
No, as with any other addiction, it needs to be treated because it starts affecting the other ambits of your life. So if there is just like being addicted to alcohol, you can have social drinks, so you can have a work. But if your drinking is affecting your health, your family relations, even your work relations, because being being a workaholic, it doesn't mean that you're a good worker. Not even
exactly. Wow, that's amazing. Yes, I mean, that's true. That's true. And I think I agree with you 100%. I was a workaholic, but I was not effective. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, a hard worker doesn't mean that he's working hard. He's working intelligently. He's delegating tasks. He's very effective at what he does. You see? So you can be a hard worker, but usually people associate hard worker with hard work. But the hard worker is working efficiently and very intelligent. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm making progress. I'm making progress. Okay. I guess that I'm making a lot of progress. So basically, you mentioned something, Juliet, that we have to be conscious of this addiction, and we have to intentionally look for ways to improve that, to be more organized, to be more effective, to plan effectively, to learn how to delegate. And that's what I want to get to. I want to try to get to, as much as possible, how to effectively use the quadrant to organize our priorities. And this is something that we have gotten. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but maybe, who is it that who's the designer? Mr. Jose Vicente Salazar, right? You're a designer, right?
Yes, I am.
Are you familiar with Scrum meetings?
Yes. Rapid and effective meetings, right to the point.
Okay, so those meetings they usually last 15 minutes, right?
Correct.
In those meetings, now if you compare the meetings that IT companies have versus other companies, you go to some companies and they have 2-3 hour meetings and they're not productive. Yeah. The IT sector has improved the schedule, the planning, and they're much more effective when it comes to planning, when it comes to having meetings. They develop the Scrum sessions, and they're very effective on following up. And they have done a very good job as far as meetings. I have learned a lot from the IT sector. So I think that the first thing we need to do is we need to effectively schedule our work, right? Look at our calendar and be realistic. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations. And can you tell me a little bit about Jose Vicente, just real quick, how Scrum meetings in your company has had a positive impact in the workplace?
Yes. We, at the beginning of the pandemic, we started having the meetings. They lasted around half an hour. And maybe 8 to 9 months later, now they last about 10 minutes. So we're trying to be more and more efficient during the meetings. And the reason is we used to say what we did yesterday and what we're going to do today. Now what we're doing is we only share what we're doing today. So we're going directly to the point, and we're sharing how we're organizing our agenda. So it has impacted positively because we are delivering easier, we're delivering faster, and I could even say that we're delivering even better than before. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad that you're saying that it is not me, because we have learned, seriously, I'm a very teachable person. I have learned a lot from the IT sector, and all that schedule and all the prioritizing and effective meetings we're implementing in the company. And now we can actually say that we're helping our team members, every single person in the company, right? We are monitoring that very specifically to make sure that people don't burn out, okay? So don't let other people control your time. I don't have a lot of time to go into this. I'm going to try to get to as soon as possible, try to get to the main point. But, besides the third point, we have to front load your week, we always, I don't know if you guys know what front load means, but usually what I do is I schedule everything on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I try to leave Friday, right, free, okay? So that way on Friday, I can maybe plan, innovate, improve processes. So when we talk about front loading your week, you schedule everything on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then leave Friday for other things that are going to help the company, you know? And finally, make personal plans for the weekends. I mean, you have to intentionally make plans with your family, exercise, work out. You know, it's funny because now I can actually say, and I'm pretty sure that some of you have done that, we were working, you know, working every single day from home. A lot of people that I talked to were working at 9 o'clock at night, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, one meeting after the other. The one meeting lasts 15 minutes, and right after you go to another meeting, that was burning a lot of people out. And they were not executing anything in their personal life, you know? So I'm going to skip some of these slides, and I want to get to the point. Okay, how do you prioritize your work when your manager doesn't? Now, one of the things that is very important, sometimes managers are not clear on the expectations, right? So I don't know if you guys know the difference between a hands-off manager and a micromanager, okay? Paola, do you know the difference between hands-off manager and a micromanager? Is Paola still here? How about Carol Glenn? Do you know the difference between a hands-off manager and micromanager?
No, I don't know.
Okay, how about Alexandra Carrillo? You know the difference between, oh no, she's connected to audio. Well, let's ask Vicky. Vicky, do you know the difference between micromanager and hands-off manager? Vicky's busy. How about Juliet? You know the difference between a hands-off manager and a micromanager?
Is it Juliet or Judy? I don't know.
Judy, sorry. So I had to, oh, yeah, Judy.
Micromanagement is when the manager or boss try to control like every single piece of the system. It's not only being aware or supervising, but trying to control the system.
Okay, and a hands-off manager?
On hands-off, I don't have like the term, but what I will guess is like el hands-off. It's someone that actually is detached from the. It's what I can guess. I'm not familiar with the term, but I think it will be the opposite of the other one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if you notice here, prioritizing work can be frustrating, especially if you have a hands-off manager, you know, because he doesn't define and give you clear goals, right? So most of us face this reality every day. So you can be a hands-off manager, but define clear goals, you see? So micromanager is not good. Most people, I used to be a micromanager. You want to be in everything, you know, and you don't empower your people. So it's always better to be hands-off manager, but to be able to define, right, clear goals, okay? Thank you for the input, Julie. Okay, and this is something that is very important, you know. I learned this many years ago, but actually I learned it, but I didn't implement it. 90% of employees don't fully understand the company's strategy and know what's expected of them to achieve company goals. And I heard from a very famous entrepreneur that even the cleaning lady needs to know what the goals of the companies are. So everybody's connected because everybody plays an important role in achieving the company's goals. And if I were to ask some of you, I don't know if Beatriz, Ishi, Beatriz Alicia Osorio, right? They call you Isha, right?
Yes, Isha. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to ask Isha one simple question. Why do you know what do you know what you do? For example, like you work for a company or you're independent?
For
you
a
work
company.
for right?
Yes, I do work for a company.
What do you do in the company?
I am I've done a lot of things because I've worked here for a lot of time. So I'm a leader and I have to take care of the foundation of the school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you do that?
Big question. How do I do that?
Okay, so now
by
check this out.
leading the person in charge of each activity that it's already in the organigram for them to do their work.
Okay, and why do you do that?
I will say, why do I lead? Why do I will be the person who will be guiding how to reach the goal that the company have or that the foundation have in this moment.
Okay, so this is one of the factors that most companies and most people don't know. This could be a second workshop that we can do. Why do you get up every morning? Why do you go to work? You know what I mean? For example, if you were to ask us now why we do what we do, we have defined it very clearly for the whole company. We as a company, teachers, secretaries, the marketing department, we are helping people to improve their job opportunities. We are helping companies to be much more competitive. That's our purpose. That's our why. So most companies have not defined that yet. And so some people go to work just to go to work, you know, like a chicken without a head. So they don't know why, they don't have a purpose, they don't have a strategy, the company doesn't have clear goals. And I think that this is something that companies need to work on. It's not the topic today, but it's something that would be very helpful when avoiding these situations, you know, because, you know, most of the people have conflicting priorities, unclear priorities. You have your schedule, and then there comes another one that conflicts with that one, then you have unclear priorities. So what we want to do is define those priorities. First of all, you know, we have to take ownership. We have to have a sense of belonging. I'm not going to go too much into detail about that because I want to be able to get to the main point. But I think it's easy to blame other people and organizations, but we need to have a sense of belonging. We need to take ownership of the project. And this is something that companies need to define really well in the hiring process. They need to do a very well-structured interview to define if these people are really working because they love what they're doing or they're just working for the money, you know? You know, and obviously, you know, we have to filter priorities, you know? There are some priorities that we can do now or later. But I want to get to the main point, you know? What is my biggest contribution and what am I passionate about? This is very important in order to avoid burnout, because if we're doing something that we love, and we're also contributing to the company. If I'm working for myself, if I'm working for a company, you have two things that you have to balance really well. Contribution to the company and do things that you love, okay? So for example, I don't know if many of you are familiar, and I would like to ask you guys, how many of you are familiar with the quadrants? Have any of you ever seen this quadrant before?
First time for me.
Who's speaking?
Jose. Jose here.
Ah, okay, Jose.
I never seen it before.
Okay. Do you guys use this quadrant in your company?
Nope.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
neither.
What's the
But-
name of the quadrants?
Okay. There are different types of quadrants. You know, they have the Eisenhower quadrant. They have different quadrants. But how many of you have ever implemented a framework for organization in your company using quadrants? How about you, Jose? Since you're in an IT company, have you guys used this? I know we have Pablo Rodriguez here as well. Welcome to the meeting, Pablo Rodriguez. I have not directed, and Jessica. So Jose, have you guys implemented, besides your Scrum meetings, a quadrant to prioritize your workload?
Not really. We are using different type of tools that allow us to organize the work that we're doing and like prioritize with the cards, like a Slack or Trello that allow us to organize our specific tasks for that day or something, and we can move them up and down according to priority. So
because I'm in a workshop now with Judy, but
Okay, thank you, Jose. Is anybody familiar? Jessica, are you there? Jessica Verdugo?
hi, pardon. How are you?
I'm doing good. Jessica, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And what do you do? Tell us really quick, what do you do and where do you work?
I am the curriculum coordinator in British International School. My camera's off. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, and prior to that, I was the English teacher, one of the English teachers of our team.
Okay, have you implemented Trello or any type of application to define the priorities and you know, working with all these tasks that you have every week?
I'm listening to the other workshop. I was in the other breakout room. It would be so helpful to do this, to make a balance between, you know, our responsibilities and our emotional well-being. It would be something that I would recommend for the future.
Okay, so this is a quadrant that actually we got from Harvard Business Review, which is, and if you guys look up quadrants, you guys will be able to see some of the quadrants that are used in other scenarios. But if we look at this one really quick here, okay, we have quadrant number 1, right? And you know, and when I show this to companies, a lot of companies change the order, you know? I mean, so quadrant number 1 is those areas, right, that are sweet spots that brings the highest impact and value and you're excited about, okay? In quadrant number 2, you have tolerate, those parts of the role that are important but drain your energy when you're engaging in them, you know, so it's draining. Then you have quadrant number 3 where you elevate, and when we talk about elevate, we're not talking about elevating this to your superior, we're talking about elevated, where you elevate it and you make it important in your personal life. Those tasks that gives you a lot of energies that others don't see as the best use of your time. But some people, for example, they put elevate as number 2 and prioritize number 1, and they put a lot of focus on quadrant number 3, right? Where they're going to be doing tasks that, you know, makes the best use of their time and gives them a lot of energy. So this is something that we can work with, you know, prioritize, tolerate, elevate, and delegate. A lot of times it's very difficult for people to delegate. I don't know if now that I have you, Jessica, you have been an English teacher, now you're a coordinator. How easy is it for you to delegate? Has it been easy or you're struggling with that?
To delegate responsibilities amongst the team.
Yes.
Well, luckily I count with an excellent team. that they're not just willing, but they're even, they volunteer. They say, Jess, how can we help you? What can we do? So, I mean, I've lucked out in that sense. It's been very easy for me to delegate work and
Now,
responsibility.
why do you think you have a great team, and why do you think you have been able to delegate easily? What took place before that? That didn't happen overnight.
No, I just think that we have an excellent rapport amongst each other. I think that we listen to each other, we respect each other, and we understand when maybe it's sometimes too much. We try to help each other out so that we get the job done, because we don't feel it as if it's just one person in the team. It's the group. So if one of us falls, we all fall. So, and we refuse to fall. So that's why we stick together.
Okay, I have a different saying. If I go to the mountaintop, everybody's going down with me. I mean, everybody's going with me, So, but that's good too. If I fall, everybody falls, So,
right.
But if I go to the mountaintop, everybody's going with me. So behind all that, there has been intentional planning, intentional training, because you cannot delegate to people that have not been properly trained, right? So what I did, and I'm going to close with this, I presented this framework to a company, as a matter of fact, yesterday. And I chose the best quadrant because you can get this quadrant and you can develop it any way you want. You can go in Google and you can go into the Eisenhower quadrant. There are many types of quadrants, and you can work it any way you want. But this is one of the best ways to avoid burnout, when you effectively plan, when you effectively and intentionally, remember that you must have recovery on the weekend, and you delegate and you train appropriately. So the company that we were working with, which is part of the Lean Staffing Group, they came up with this quadrant last night. And it was funny because it was a coincidence. I was not planning to have that quadrant, but here's what they came up with. Let's see if I can find it. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Notice here at the bottom, and a lot of people miss this. At the bottom, it says the quadrant could highlight that it is time for a change. So when you use a quadrant effectively, it will also be like a thermometer that you need a change in your career. I don't have time to explain that right now. But the technology company, and I'm pretty sure that Jose Vicente, being a designer and works in a company where they effectively develop Scrum meetings, and I would like Jose, can you read quadrant number 1, please? Yeah, I would like some of you to read it. Can you read quadrant number 1, Jose?
Sure. Tasks that will make the project successful and the account grow, because they will provide immediate value to the different parties involved.
Okay. Jessica, yes, can you read number 2, please?
Sure. Quadrant number 2. Tasks that will allow us to grow on the OPS side, providing better customer service and making us look as a reliable company towards our customers. SOPs, documentation, performance spreadsheet.
Okay, very good. And I would like, Vicky, are you still there, Vicky?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you read quadrant number 3, please?
Yes, sure. Tasks that are focused on developers' growth, mentorship, unit testing, study, and that would have no direct impact on the project.
Okay, and Maria Cristina Jaramillo, can you read number 4 if you're still there, please?
Quadrant 4.
Yes.
4 tasks that will not have a big impact on the project and will not be satisfying for the developers.
Okay, very good. So if you guys notice this is an IT company that changed the quadrant, and I agree with it. It was the best presentation. We had approximately 5 different quadrants, and they came up with this one. Now, if you notice in quadrant number 3, quadrant number 3 is not possible without quadrant number 1 and quadrant number 2. And quadrant number 4 is a task that will not have a big impact on the project and will not be satisfying for the developer. So we can eliminate that task. And basically what this quadrant does, and we don't have the time for it, because I think, how many minutes do we have? Hey, Vicky, do we have a few more minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So by effectively using the quadrant, we can effectively delegate. And then we have to figure out, right, what kind of task are we going to delegate? So we have 6 T's to determine how to make the most sense to offload. So for example, you have tiny tasks. A lot of times those tasks, don't take much time, but when you add them up, right, it takes a lot of time. For example, maybe a conference or an event, adding to your calendar, booking the flight. So we have those tiny tasks that eventually they add up, right? We also have, wait a minute, sorry guys. Wait a minute. What happened here? Okay, so okay, here it is. Okay, sorry. So we have tiny tasks, we have tedious tasks, right? So these tedious tasks do not make the best use of your time. They're very straightforward, can be handled, they can be handled by you or by anyone. So we have the tedious tasks, we have time-consuming tasks. These tasks require time, they're complex, time-consuming. We also have teachable tasks, and this is very important because we can spend a lot of time training someone, but we can also, by training this person, we can effectively delegate this task to other people, no? And then we have, see where is it? Oops, okay. All right, so we have, sorry guys, I don't know what's happening with my, okay, here it is. Okay. Uh-oh. What happened? Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, absolutely. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? Because I'm having problems sharing my screen. I don't know why.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, guys. Okay. Let me see. What do you guys see on my screen? Only delegating tasks?
Terrible
tasks.
Oh, okay. Now I see what's happening. Okay. So we have, if I could go back really quick, because I don't know what happened here. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm very sorry. So we have tiny tasks, tedious tasks, time-consuming, and teachable tasks. These are the tasks that we train people, and then we can easily delegate those tasks on a later occasion. We have things that we're terrible at. For example, I am not a person that is going to do a financial report. I'm not detail-oriented. And when it comes to creating a PowerPoint presentation, I can delegate that to someone else, right? So those things that we're terrible at, we can transfer that information to someone else. And then those things that are time sensitive, they usually take time. There isn't enough time to do all of them at once. You can also delegate those tasks to other people. So we have to define this quadrant, and the 6 T's actually will help us to effectively delegate tasks, know what to delegate. And then, you have like a priority session where you train people appropriately in your team, and you can delegate those tasks. And by delegating the task, you empower people, okay? All right, so I just want to ask a question. to some of you. Sorry about that mistake that took place with the PowerPoint presentation. But I would like to ask Paulo Rodriguez. Paulo Rodriguez, are you there? Paola Angulo, are you there? Paola Fuentes, are you there?
Para poder hablar deben abrir sus micrófonos.
Okay, let's ask Jose Carlos Donado. Are you there, Jose?
Certainly, I am.
Okay, let me ask you a question, sir.
Yes.
How effective are you at delegating tasks?
Well, I think I am like 60% effective. Like I have to trust my people because there is no other way that I can do the things that they do. So I have to trust them. I have to tell them. And I just have to guide them and just to wait to see how everything happens.
And what do you do, Jose? What do you do?
I am the diploma coordinator for the BIS, for the British International School, the diploma coordinator.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, we did a research about coordinators, maybe CEOs, directors, presidents, vice presidents, and the most effective leaders delegate almost 90% of the tasks. Because why? Why is it important for you to delegate? In order for a company to grow, can you imagine how many of you guys have been to El Corral? Have you ever seen the CEO cooking hamburgers?
No.
Never, right? What is he doing? You have all these corrals all over, right, the country.
They are maybe thinking about the next corral that they are going to open and where they're going to open it, or what strategy they are going to generate in order to bring more people, the next promotion, the next kind of hamburger they are going to generate. I don't know.
Something that's going to add value, you know? So a lot of managers, we have productivity and operation. And most managers, including myself, we were involved 80% in operation and 20% in innovation. Is a company going to grow that way? Are you going to grow as a professional if you're dedicating 80% of your time in operations and 20% in innovation?
Maybe yes, but slowly.
Okay, so just to wrap this up, I wish I had more time with you guys. In order to avoid burnout, you have to intentionally develop a plan. Intentionally upload your week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and leave Friday for other things that you want to do. And you want to spend time with your family, and you want to use the quadrant effectively so you can learn and start beginning by delegating more tasks and empowering your people. And one of the things that we have done here, and we're working with several companies on this right now, a lot of times, you know, you have to upload your people, right? Give them a lot of work, but you have a specific purpose. And then once they cannot effectively do the job correctly, then you begin to hire other people, and you begin to teach them how to effectively plan and how to intentionally take time off and develop a culture in the company where you don't call your people after a certain period of time and you don't bother them on the weekend, you know? So this is something that has been implemented in our company. We have implemented it in other companies, obviously. I try to cut down this workshop to an hour and a half, but this is a workshop that usually lasts more than 5 days, a total of 5 hours. So I really want to thank you. If anybody has any questions, does anybody have any questions as far as the workshop that we just did?
more like a statement or an observation. We've been so, I guess we've trained ourselves to believe that if we can't handle everything, we're unsuccessful, or we're not capable of doing our job. And so it's kind of resetting our mindset to delegating, because if we don't work as a team, it can't get done. It probably could get done, but what would be the aftermath of that?
Yeah, Jessica, I think that's very crucial. The best leaders, I work with several companies here in Bogota with the IT sector. And to be honest with you, not downgrading any other company, but the IT sector has been forced to effectively plan, effectively delegate, effectively train their people, and watch out for those key indicators when there's a burnout in the team. Because if you have a burnout, that's going to affect the whole team. Jose was confirming what I was saying, that the meetings that they have usually last 15 minutes. And I'm pretty sure, Jessica, I don't know, maybe people that work at schools, that used to happen to us. Our meetings would last 2 hours. And it would be really interesting, Vicky. Are you still there, Vicky? So Jessica, just a question. Jessica, have you ever heard about Scrum meetings?
Pardon?
Have you ever heard about Scrum meetings?
I've heard of it. I'm not, the details I can't give you, but I have heard of Scrum meetings.
Okay. Besides Jose, has anybody else heard about Scrum meetings?
No.
What is it?
Okay, that's a good question. What is it? It's a meeting that more and more companies are now implementing. That could be another workshop that we could do with you guys next time. How to effectively do meetings. The IT companies, what they have done is they have implemented the Scrum meetings in a 15-minute session every single day. And they're far more productive than companies that spend 1 hour and 2 hours in meetings. Right, Jose?
Sorry,
Yes.
tell me again, sorry. What is Scrum meetings?
Okay, let me have Jose Vicente explain that real quick to you guys, so you guys can hear it from somebody else. Jose Vicente, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Jose, Scrum meetings are meetings that are done every day, and you should, and the entire team meets up for as short as they can, as less time as they can, in order to maximize the effectiveness or the effectivity of every decision and everything you have to do for the day. So the idea for the Scrum meetings is you share with your team what activities or what challenges you have for the day. So the goal is to tell them what you are looking forward to completing during the day. So in that way, you don't waste your time planning or talking or talking about or defining anything else. Just going straight to the point of what you're going to do on that specific day. That's more or less what Scrum meetings are.
Yeah, and basically, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Jose. I didn't include, because I didn't want to extend myself, but Scrum meetings do help companies to be much more effective and avoid burnout in the workplace. And that way you can follow up on the projects easily. So basically, guys, thank you very much. We will send this presentation as a PDF. If you guys have any questions, I'm always available. My number is 301-211-4903. We want to help companies. We want to help individuals to be much more efficient when it comes to English, when it comes to soft skills and hard skills. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you so much.
It was very interesting.
Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rudy. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Hopefully
Thank you to all of you.
Talk to you guys later. Thank you, Judy.
Okay. Bye-bye. Gracias.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.